Hi, Will. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast. I know you build out escape rooms and design them. Let's start with your introduction, where you are, what your company name is, and where people can find you online.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me. My name's William, and I am a builder with NR Willis Construction. We are primarily, our passion is building escape rooms, one room at a time, do residential, commercial in alignment with it. We are located in Denver, Colorado, our headquarters now. We just moved from Orange County to expand, and we build games from West Coast all the way to Texas. That's what we like to do. We like to get those ideas out of your head and build your game.
How did you get into this escape room designing business? When did you start?
So by accident, actually, my buddy was working at Price Spider as a programmer developer. He made a decision to leave that world and build an escape room back in 2018. He got a project and he's like, Will, what are you doing? So I was deep into hospitality, working in hotels, grinding away. I'm sure all of you have been out there working your 10 plus hours, a few days off here and there. Got the itch and helped him build his location in Westminster, California. I will name the name, maybe add some mystery, you can look it up. There's only one escape room in Westminster, California. That's how it happened. It turns into now I'm 12 or more games and rooms and projects.
Great. So this is for the escape room owners mostly, and even maybe for some of the other game designers. I want to ask you, what are some of the creative challenges that you face while you've been designing these escape rooms?
Everyone has a vision, everyone has a goal. All you enthusiasts and owners, I believe it becomes enthusiasts, then you turn into an owner because you love them so much you want to make your own game, share it with the world. So the biggest challenge is getting that idea out of your head because it's hard for you to put on paper or put it in a document. We help you with that. We have a process. We build a spreadsheet. We go through the brainstorming and creative phase, getting that idea in reality by putting it on a hit list of a flow of getting step one all the way through step 60 if it were to be. So that's the biggest challenge.
Cool. When you're designing these games, do you get any sort of pushback from escape room owners that have hired you to build out their room?
Knock on wood, we're some wood. Thankfully, no, because they're so excited to get their dream turned into a reality. And they take a lot of our ideas, they twist it, they grow on it, and they just so happy. No, I haven't had that struggle yet. I'm sure it will happen.
I'm curious to know, we're in 2024 now. The industry has changed quite a bit. The experiences are more immersive. Can you talk a little bit about the technological changes or innovations that you've had to deal with while you're building out these new rooms as opposed to rooms that happened maybe 6, 7, or 8 years ago?
Yeah, it's a great thing to say because that is the challenge now. It's technology, it's AI, it's separating yourself from the rest of the game. So anyone can get a whiteboard, get a room, curtains, basic backdrops. That's 7, 8 years. Those are the starting of the escape rooms. I played them. They weren't that fun. I didn't even care about escape rooms back then. Now they're working into Jim Henson's like puppet animations. You got Disney coming in. You got Universal. You've got these big names and these technologies. You got softwares that are automatically triggering stuff in rooms. That wasn't happening 7, 8 years ago. It was all done manual on a switchboard. As a builder and even as an owner, you need to think outside the box, offer something different, next level that want that wow moment. People aren't going to talk about it and come back.
Okay, let's talk about a wow moment then for you. Out of all the games that you've designed, what kind of room was your favorite or why?
We finished a project in Mission Viejo, California. It was a owner who absolutely loved the Scooby-Doo franchise built on the first couple episodes. There's a wow moment in there.
What was different about that project that set it apart?
I think the wow moment was in the seance room, like in Scooby-Doo cartoons that you would see when they had a crystal ball. My guy AJ and myself, we collaborated and debated how we're going to do this. Found a way using a crystal ball and a projector to make it seem like there's a ghost in the ball talking to you. And I thought that was pretty cool. Wow. Because I don't really see that in game for that to like work and be part of the puzzle flow and the lights dim, everything goes spooky. That was our most recent one. The easiest and most liked by our clients is scary stuff popping out of walls and the horror games. I think that one was a good one.
What percentage of games that you've built that you've seen that more people have inclined toward haunted games or haunted houses or haunted experience as opposed to regular, fun, have a narrative, have a theme?
What I've personally seen, and don't quote me out there, guys, there's some companies that go all horror and they're busy from September, October, all the way until January. They're rock solid. But then the off season I've seen, they're barely paying the rent. The most successful I've seen is the family-friendly adventure, no scary, and that's like the 80%. Escape room owners want to build something like that that's for all ages, for kids and adults, because I've seen infants and toddlers and strollers go in games all the way up to 70-year-old go to play an escape room. When you pick a horror game or scary game, you niche yourself, because not everyone wants to be scared, even though I love it. And I'm sure listeners and you podcasters were watching this possibly. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's not a year-round.
I totally know what you mean because I'll tell you a secret. I am terrified of haunted houses. You can't pay me to go to one or drag me into one. I just I can't. Like I just get a panic attack or nervous breakdown. I guess it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Just like roller coasters aren't for everyone. But you bring a great point because that is the busy season for the agency in general, like October, November, December, January, part of it. That is kind of the holiday season and, falls in line with Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. Definitely that would coincide with any of the other types of escape rooms that are in the industry. Totally makes sense.
It's okay to have scary games. We all like them. I don't think they should have all scary games,
Right.
For different groups and markets. Market yourself more generally.
Absolutely makes sense. I want to ask you something related to collaboration. Have you had to collaborate with other industry professionals, not just escape room owners, but people beyond them that helped you build out these games? You learned something from them that could benefit, our viewers that are going to be watching this?
You never be a closed book. You need to be an open book for learning about how to find information and look for resources. So what escape rooms, I think, for building wise, is it's a challenge of every process. So let's say you're an owner, you want to build a puzzle. No one's built this puzzle before. It's super custom, right? It involves an elevator mechanism. I don't know how to build an elevator. So what do? As an escape room owner, I'm going to go meet elevator mechanics and collaborate with, see if they can help me with a genius way of doing it. And a lot of them just go, hey, go on Amazon, go on this escape builder website, or wherever you got to go to find these mechanisms. And then just with having feedback, you made a friend. They might come play your game. You might get help later. You might help them. That's what I love about this is it forces you to learn and meet new people. It really does. Where I see owner might see a problem where they're like, how do you build this? Well, I don't. I see it as a challenge. Like, let's go meet some cool people and put it together. Collaborating is mandatory. If you don't collaborate, your project takes too long. That's why I've been told by some of my clients. It's like, Will, how are you and your team able to build efficiently? I'm like, it's about asking for help. As the client, you might not see us, making calls and doing all that different ways of making something, but that's how you speed it up. You don't sit there and grind it out for 2 weeks on one problem. You switch to another thing you got to build, and then you ask for help. Yeah, all the time. That's how I met this client in Texas that I'm doing a proposal for, actually. I'm talking to him for a half. He's been wanting to build this game. I met him through Facebook, and we started out in arcades and virtual reality. Now he wants to potentially help us with the escape room. I'm not from Texas. I've been there, but how do you meet people in different parts of the country or the world without collaborating? And we were just collaborating with some ideas, and now we got a friendship, and he's helped me with website ideas and all this other stuff. It's crucial. It's critical.
Absolutely. Always collaborate, then compete. I say that to everyone, even people in my industry. I think there's always a thing or two to learn from each other, and that's how we grow. That's how we create great experiences. I want to ask you something that I have noticed in some of the Facebook groups. This gets asked around a bit. New escape room business, a new axe throwing business, or even like building out a new room. They're talking about, what the cost should be to build out these experiences. And I know these can vary by the types of experiences built. But what would you say someone should estimate to build out 3-game or a 3-room escape room location? Is there a range, or is there a estimate that an escape room owner should budget for that type of a build?
It depends on what value, what level of experience, and what's your ultimate goal. I'll tell you straight up. I started out $3,000, built the game. I was one of the first games I built with my best friend in California, and we had no money, and that was like my first one. And it was a cost of material in 2 months, right? It's a block and key, basic game, a little scary, suspenseful. He's very profitable, 6 figures a year in sales. It's a great little game. But then there's games that I've worked on, I have built that are 40,000 to 100,000. Now the level games, there's more immersion, you get more gameplay, you get more sophisticated level of puzzles. It's just going to be the same. What's crazy is that $3,000 or that $60,000 game, they have the same ticket price. They might have the same volume, right? The $60,000 game might be better quality, all this stuff, but the $3,000 game might be the better experience. It might be more fun, right? It depends on really the owner's goal and what they have to invest in there. What I like to do is sit down with a client and be like, okay, what's your ultimate goal? How much are you hoping to make out of this? And I see averages 6 to 10 grand per game a month, right? In gross sales. You got your lease, your mortgage, all these other expenses that comes down, but also it depends on square footage and how many space you have to build. So I built a room smaller than a 10 by 10 that could fit 12 people in it. And you think like 12 people in a tiny room like that? Well, you got to pack it full of puzzles. You got to add a lot of wow features for that one room to be amazing. Now that one room, I'll give you an example, costs 4 times as much as the $3,000 room I built. Why? Well, that $3,000 room had 3 rooms, so it's easier to spread out the experiences and have different immersion levels, phases of a story, right? So like each room is a chapter of a story. So when you think about a budget, an owner can do it himself. Absolutely, they could do it for $5 grand, and they might have to take a year to process the experience that we do if we were to help you, for example. And then we have special teams, so I can call people, schedule them, and then they come in and knock it all out faster. What I tell an owner is, how much do you want ROI back? Yes, let's spend $60,000. $60,000, I can get it done in 3-4 months, turned on, games online. Within reason, depends on what kind of game you want, right? I always suggest off the grid, if the power goes out, it keeps running, that kind of thing. Not using the software, because that's where it gets expensive with spending. I've seen escapists spend 10 grand on just the software just to run their game. That's cool, and that's amazing, but if something breaks, who's going to fix it? So we try to keep it more, we call it basic, I guess, easy to run. Oh, okay, so to finish that, so you're in a $60,000 game, but he's open or she's open 4 months, and they're making money. Or you can spend $5 grand, and it take you 6 months to a year if you don't have the drive and the organization and have the processes. So you just lost how many months of revenue? So let's say you lost $8 grand a month for 6 months. How much is that?
$28,000.
If we open sooner, doesn't that kind of offset the cost of the 60K, and you're immediately open? You got a nice brand, comes with maybe some promotional videos that we'll make for them. We can spread the word in the community to get that place packed and help you. So that's really the goal. You're right. There's a huge spectrum. Let me get this right. Huge spectrum of $1 million game that I've heard about that took a year to build, or a $5,000 game that opened 2 months, right?
Well,
So
absolutely makes sense. I mean, it's a really
yeah.
wide range. Yeah, I totally get it. One of the things that I guess come to mind when I think about building out games, and I've had this conversation with a few other escape room owners, is building codes or working with the city. Let's talk a little bit about like your experience with advising escape room owner that's trying to build out a new room, retrofitting a new room into a new experience. What type of challenges have you faced, or what type of experiences have you gone through where you had to, advise them on certain things that may or may not be up to code and the municipality might not approve? Let's talk a little bit about that, because this is real life, things that need to be taken care of.
I've personally experienced it with building my own location in Anaheim, California. Followed the law of the letter, hired the licensed contractors to do the specialized stuff to make sure we're compliant. And still, we had an inspection after years. We didn't pass an inspection, and our property owner, unfortunately, so we had to close. Yes, that is a big topic. My biggest advice is do your research. I took a master class on the failing of it. Okay. Next time I do it, knock it out of the park. I would advise you to do, let's say you start a brand new location, right? Not zoned or permitted as a entertainment facility. Let's say it was a dog groomer. So you got to go to the city hall, find out if they have a planning department. You need to bring the address. This takes some work. This is what we'd do. A contractor help you through this process. We'd find all the answers and costs, and it's expensive. I paid $11,000 just to fill out an application, just to apply with no guarantee you could get approved. It's called a conditional use permit. That's a cup. So for the term of the lease, only the term of the lease, you get build your game. Okay. Now the wait's a long time too, 6 months to a year. I got it done in 6 months, but they said it was a record. So your money is on hold for up to a year at some city. Nuts. Now you go to a different state. Yeah. It's over the counter. You can have it in 10 days. It depends on what state you're in. Okay. There's so many different rules. Building codes, structural walls, electrical. Another thing is, let's say you're in a grandfathered warehouse, right? It's old. You can pretty much do everything. But as soon as you make a change, you didn't tell the city, and they do an inspection, they're going to make you update everything. HVAC, the lighting, the electrical. You have to do a full gut job if they get you. It's very critical you do your homework. Now, the easiest and fastest way to start an escape room is buy an existing escape room, because they already did all that for you. And my God, I wish I did that. I wish I bought one and just converted it to what I wanted, but I didn't. I tried the hard way, and it's not fun. I don't recommend it for anyone, but once you do it, you are empowered, you can learn. And my other advice, if you were to start from scratch, is hire an architect that's licensed in that city. They all have an in with the planning commission or the building department. They might know somebody and they can do it faster. Yes, it costs money. I was quoted $15,000 just to do some paperwork. I didn't do it because I thought, hey, I could save $15,000. That's what you're going to think as a startup owner. But it backfired and I lost my business because I didn't do it. And what I found out, if I would have hired him, I wouldn't have gone to build in the first place and saved hundreds of thousands on that project. Yes. Now, a caveat to that is you can hire contractors to do and help you through the process, but there's called an owner builder permit. Okay. So you want to remodel your house. That would be faster to do an owner builder than it is to go through a contractor, and they charge you less, which is the way it is. It's about taxes. It's about money, and that's what they want. Great question. though. That's a hard one to answer too.
I see that a lot. And I guess the moral of the story is do your research before you get into it, because I see people that struggle with codes, building out new rooms just because they just jumped into it without too much research. They saw
Right
some
here, right here.
competitors in the area
I'm a victim of that.
for building out an escape room because there's already a few. Yeah, definitely good advice. We're kind of at the end of this session. I'm going to ask you one last question and, let you go. Again,
Got you.
William Shaw of NR Willis Construction has given us his valuable advice and experiences and us about all his experiences he had for building out escape rooms. So the last question I have, what advice or feedback would you give out to aspiring designers, builders in the industry, or even escape room owners in the industry?
Advice that I need to take, and that's always create and always share with the world. Okay. Start that YouTube channel. I know it's hard. I've tried it a few times. Too busy. Do it. Just do it. Even if you post a video a week, how many videos is that a year? That's a lot of videos. You never know how.
52 actually, right? 52 weeks in a year.
52 weeks in a year. So that's a good start. 52 videos, right? Just doing that, getting you in the process, creating, sharing, collaborating. Someone might message you and be like, hey, I want you to build this for me. And then you're creating for money versus yourself. It's really easy to get into. Just got to be open, have a good way about yourself, open up your heart. And this community is very loving and rewarding. The escape room community, all races, all religions, it's incredible. And they come together on storytelling. That's what this is. Storytelling at its finest in any different way. I would never have met this man if it wasn't for escape. That's what's crazy about this. And here we are talking about escape rooms, right?
We would have never met if we didn't talk about escape rooms either, right?
That's exactly right. So just keep creating, even if you're not creating, just play some games and share your opinions, and you never know. The sky's the limit. And soon space is the limit.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time. I'm just going to give you a virtual high five, just like this.
Right.
And have a wonderful day and good luck with your projects, and look forward to connecting again very soon. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Take care.